nobody coming to see you. Ain't nobody coming to see you. Ain't nobody coming to see you. Ain't nobody coming to see you.
This is Spider-Man Allen, and I have a message for everyone in the NFL. Spider-Man sitting on the seat with his helmet way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of cleat. The line began to roar. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Come and watch the Detroit line that no one seems to beat. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one's gone. And another one's gone. And another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Offense, defense, special team. If you're thinking with the line, you know what I mean. Last year's team was 2-14, but this is the year for New Orleans. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Come and watch that Detroit line that no one seems to beat. And another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. And another one's gone. And another one's gone. And another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. I'm the Spider-Man and I can do whatever a spider can. I can spin a web any size. I can catch football just like that. We got an offensive line who's very tough. Got a defensive line called the Silver Rush. Got Dexter Buddy, Harsh King, see Billy Run. They couldn't catch him with the gun. Tick-tock, that's money clock. There's Derek Danielson, drop back pass. Touchdown, wide receivers, Freddie Dodson. Hey, look, this bird is a plane. No, it's Incredible Al Baker, that is. Hound dog, that dog will hunt. David Hillhouse on the street. Earl Flynn in the end zone. Another one touchdown. Touchdown. Here's those line rolls. Watch the score. Another Super Bowl. World champ. Another one bites down Detroit. Another one bites down. Listen to the line roll. Listen to the another one bites down. Another one bites down.
Oh, yeah, I know I'm going to catch it now. What's good, family? What's good? Kai Stone in the building, Free in the building. Appreciate the hashtag Free. Absolutely. Happy Sunday to you. And anybody that's going to check this out, the Villager on Deck, I wanted to really be respectful for my hometown people, even though I really don't have any hometown listeners. I really wanted to be respectful for the Detroit Lions because it looks like they're on their way to their 4th victory of the year. Let me see if the game is over just yet. Now it looks like a minute and 30 is left, and they are winning 42-24. 42-24. So looks like they're gonna go 4-1. And the intro track that I put up, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that I'm in the vein. I ain't been watching the games, haven't been following it, because I'm really not trying to get too caught up. Besides that, I got a lot of things that I need to be getting done and just don't have the time to take up to watch a football game for 3 hours on Sunday. Some people are in that position to be able to do so, and I respect that, and I'm glad y'all able to do that. Me personally, I've just had to do other things these first 4 or 5 weeks of the season and just haven't had a chance to sit back and watch the Motor City Pussycats get down and do their thing. So it looks like they're going to win their 4th game of the year. And if anybody remembers that song that I played at the beginning of the stream, that particular song came out when the Lions were 4-1. They were 4-1. I believe they were 4-1. They might have been 4-0, but I believe they were 4-1. I was only like 10 years old at the time, but I believe they were 4-1. and Billy Sims was on the team, and Al Bubba Baker, and of course, Jimmy Spider-Man Allen. He was the rapper in this. He was the lyricist in there. He was dropping bars in there. You know, it was David Hill. Remember Dave Hill used to have his little touchdown dance, and Jimmy Hunter. You know, the guys were great guys to have around town. They were great players for Detroit. But after that 4-1 start, things didn't fare too well for the rest of the season. But, you know, that's history and that's behind us. And it looks like the Detroit Lions may have just turned this thing around after 100 years of being in existence. It looks like the Lions might actually have a contending team. So keep your fingers crossed, keep your toes crossed, keep your paws crossed, because the Motor City Pussycats look like they about to do a little something out here. So, you know, new blood, new coaches, hell, even new leadership. You know, it's still owned by the Fords, but it's the younger Fords. The other ones are now ancestral. So, you know, the people who are running the team now, it's some younger blood, and they done figured out some good ingenuity, and hopefully they're on the right track. You know, I'm going to be sarcastic. I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be all that because I've been a lifelong Detroit Lions fan. And let me just explain something to you. As a lifelong Detroit Lions fan, I have the right to be petty. I indeed have the right to be petty because they have put out, as Coach Prime would say, hot garbage. I'm talking hot, some of the hottest, steamiest garbage as far as football teams in these past umpteen years. Let's say I'm 53. So let's say over the past 53 years, we've had a few good teams. We might have had 3 good teams. I mean, maybe some good years that started out good but went bad. We've had some great players, but we've never been able to put anything together, and we've never gotten to the Super Bowl. We've never gotten to the Super Bowl, and every time we get to the NFC Championship, we get dusted. I'm talking about dusted. So I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be sarcastic. I am not a believer. But I believe in my team. I believe my team to do what they've always done. And I don't want to call same old Lions, but I've been here before. And that's why I played that record at the beginning of the stream. What you say there, Kai? They need some of that, them Texans. Oh, no, we don't. We don't need no Houston Texans. No. You keep them Houston Texans. You know, we don't need none of that. But I came up today. I have this title. It says, I am socially awkward because society is awkwardly social. The world has changed. It's flipped on me over my lifetime, and I'm looking at it through a different lens than I was before. I truly am. Absolutely free. Appreciate you. Like the video, share the video. I know y'all not going to do that, but Free puts it in the chat, so I at least don't want to make her work go in vain. But absolutely like the video, share the video, you know, stretch this algorithm. This message today is going to be one of those messages that I'm going to pull some things from it post-production wise and put those videos up individually, because I got some things to talk about today. I got some slides that I want to play. And then I want to talk about this reparations thing that happened in Atlanta. Yeah, okay. If this is what y'all gonna do as far as reparations go, y'all gonna have to step aside. Y'all literally gonna have to step aside. Because what we're not going to do is play games with folks out here. And what they did in Atlanta was flat out embarrassing. What they did in Atlanta was embarrassing. And here's the thing. I'm not going to talk on everybody that got up to speak. Oh, no. I'm going to play home games. I'm the villager on deck. I'm going to talk about the village. Detroit. Y'all sent Anita Bell to Atlanta? Is that her name, Anita Bell? Y'all sent her to Atlanta? Oh, come on, man. Y'all really did that? That's what y'all wanted to put on the reparation stage in Atlanta this past weekend? So I'm going to play some of what she said yesterday because I've been called out by some Detroit reparationists. I've been called out by people in my own village because you in the state, you within the village. And they talked about me as if they could talk. Now, you know, I just brought up the Detroit Reparations Task Force document from back in July of 22. I brought that foolishness up, and I'm going to probably bring it up again. I need to bring it up again because after listening to Anita, y'all sent Anita down to Atlanta. Come on, man. Come on, man. Appreciate you, Kai Stone. Y'all sent Anita down to Atlanta to talk that gibberish, and she was talking some gibberish. I'm talking like blah, 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 gibberish. And damn, I generally have real good taste. Let's just say, when it comes to the sisters in this space. I really try not to be disrespectful, but today it's probably going to get disrespectful. All right? Because she got up there talking about moon, stars, quasars. She sound like Elroy Jetson. So, anyway. Oh, man. I couldn't believe it. Now I done got off track thinking about Anita. I need to get Anita out of my brain. So I've got these slides that I want to bring up. You know, this is kind of a staple slide for me. Generally, you see this slide if I'm going live and I got somebody that I'm interviewing, or it's, you know, a lot of my pages, you know, this is either black and white or it's a color picture. I use this picture just as, you know, this is just me. You know, me and my smiling face. But it's really the mood that I have a lot of times when I am thinking about people like Anita or just in this space in general. You know, I like to laugh. I like to joke. I like to be sarcastic. But for the most part, I'm a pretty that individual there. Nicole, that's a loaded question. But I'm about to unload. So please be patient with me. I'm about to unload. I'm gonna get a couple of these slides off, and then we'll probably run right into Anita, and then I'll finish up with the slides. But the reason that I chose the title today with the I am socially awkward because society is awkwardly social. I've just seen the world around me flip so many times over the last many years. And I really know why I'm where I'm at. And I don't blame anybody for where I'm at, but I understand why I've had some of the clouded judgment. And the clouded judgment comes from because I think things are one way and they're indeed another way. And it's not because of general ignorance. It's just because things aren't the same as they used to be. I know the world has changed immensely, but people are not what they were before. And I am a people person. I know we deal with this interactive age, you know, and we got the smartphones and all that stuff. And it's all about texting and emailing and cyber this and cyber that. But I'm still a chest-to-chest individual. I still like to have this one-on-one communication. But I go with what's out here. I go with what's necessary. You know, I mean, I literally had a series of interviews where I still haven't met anybody from the company. I've just only done Zoom interviews. I've only done interactive testing. I've only done, you know, and it's very difficult for me. I'm so used to being able to reach out and shake someone's hand and look them in the eye and say, hey, give me the fucking job. But no, it's different now. You literally are looking at the white dot on your computer, and that is going across, and they're looking at a white dot on their computer, and that's how you're communicating. They're asking you questions. You're waiting a second or two because it's it's buffering, not so much buffering, but there's a delay, and then you answer the question. Same thing. I ask a question, I expect an answer right then, but then it's not that the person is thinking, it's just, it's got to get its digital return. So where I'm at now is learning how to be patient in this very different world that we're in. This is a very, very different world that we're in, because the world that I used to know, the world that was, I would say, very solid. Like, I look at things very topical now, whereas things had depth in the past. And it's not that things aren't deep today, but things are very, very topical today. And that's how they can get switched in and out interchangeably. But I go back to a time, this is when I was in high school, and I didn't even realize it. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even look at it until someone said, Shannon, you've always been political. You've always been political. And I was like, but I haven't though. And they're like, yeah, you have. And I was like, but I haven't though. And they went back to this, and I've talked about this before. When I went to Ann Arbor Huron, Ann Arbor Huron was made in the shape of an H, okay? And with that H, we had an arch that we used to be able to drive underneath and drive through, traffic in, traffic out. That's now since been filled in. But when they were trying to fill in the arch when I was at Huron, we held a protest. I didn't look at it as political back then, but it was a political stance we made. And I believe Jimmy, who's actually holding up the sign, sent me this image on Facebook or Instagram. I can't quite remember. A few years back, because he was obviously going down memory lane. And I remembered, I'm the guy with the gray Letterman's jacket on there and the bald head. I did have hair on top. I've never been totally bald, but I just had a high and tight back then, had sunglasses on. And we were just on a move to keep the arch from being filled in. I mean, that was, you talk about parking lot pimping. That's really where parking lot pimping came for us. We used to pull up under the arch. We make sure we have our song queued up that you wanted to play. And if you had a little sound in your car, you got it ready and you started bumping it going up underneath the arch. There was the guys that had the Camaros and the Trans Ams and the Firebirds. And then there was me with my 79 Grand Prix, burgundy leather, and they used to call my car Pac-Man because I broke the hood latch on it. So every now and then my hood would go like that, but I could keep it down for the most part. Had to keep it down going up under the arch. You really didn't want to be looking raggedy going up underneath the arch. So I would keep it pinned down for going up under the arch. But I had sounds in my stuff. That Grand Prix had sounds in it. Did I say Grand Am? I thought it was a Grand Prix. But it was a great time. And when we were under the arch protesting here, this was one of the things that I did not know this was going to manifest into where I am today with the political realm. I don't go out and protest no more. I definitely don't go out and protest no more. Oh yeah, we was over there doing our thing, Free. You remember that, Kendall? You definitely remember that, bro. Yeah, we protested successfully, and they did not fill in that arch. They didn't fill in that arch until we left. And obviously when we left, they didn't have nobody solid on the ground to keep them from filling it in. So they was like, we'll let these 88 motherfuckers get up out of here because they done stood their ground and showed that they were a unit. And then I don't know what happened in 89, 90, 91. I don't know exactly when it got actually filled in, but they obviously weren't strong enough and they didn't politicize enough to where they were just looked at it like, oh, yeah, y'all ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't like 88. Y'all ain't like 88. We about to fill this shit in. Get out the way. So that's what it was. Oh, yeah, we was parking lot pimping back in the day. We was parking lot pimping. So it was a great time. Now, from that point on, I moved into adulthood. I tried going to school down in Atlanta. That didn't work out. My father figured out he wanted to be a father again at age 50. And there went my bedroom. So I came back north, no biggie. I came back home, got jobs, this, that, and the other. I was in, food and beverage, hospitality, bam, bam, bam. And then right around 1991, about 2.5 years after coming back from Atlanta, this happened. And when this happened, my life changed. I had been working for the joint for a while, learning, and I did what a lot of people have done to me before. I've literally trained people who became my managers in life. I did not know I was training my manager to be in life. But yeah. Oh yeah. Big boo on adulthood, bro. If we could go back to that time and do it all over again, knowing what we know now, oh man, we do it totally different. We'd be able to manifest and move totally different. But this was a turning point in my life where I learned how to actually make my own dollar. I had jobs and had decent jobs before, but this is how I learned how to make my own dollar. And it's where a lot of people have told me, especially one of my friends named Carl Jackson, he's told me I fucked up by going to work for people after I had this situation because I knew the system. I had broke the code, so to speak. Once you are at the top of your own food chain, it's very difficult for you to go work for someone else unless you really understand the dynamic of the food chain. And I learned way too early. Now, maturity has obviously set in, and I've worked for many of people since then and owned other businesses. But the thing was, I was so young when this all happened, I was able to move freely and learn how to really do for self, do for my people, and things that I wanted to do were just on such a minuscule level. I really wanted to give back. I was really into giving back then. And I did a lot of things with the school systems, did a lot of things with businesses, and provided them with food that I was selling because I was never really big into the hand-to-hand thing. And I've talked a little bit about this. I like that catering dollar. I like to do a whole bunch of meals and then get that big check versus waiting for this person to come and that person to come and this person to come. I really preferred doing a lot of catering, a lot of big orders. So we made a lot of that happen. But when that passed, I went on to a whole different situation. Okay. A few years later, my mother called me one day and she was just like, what you gonna do with that voice besides just try to make girls smile and cry? At first, I didn't really understand what she was talking about. But then I did, because I've had this voice since I was about 14, 15 years old. And she made an offer to put me through broadcasting school. And that would give me the opportunity to work in radio. This is a picture of me and Faith Hill before she became like a mega star. She was already a star. But I stepped out of the production booth while she was getting interviewed up at Young Country. I was writing and producing commercials for Young Country while also working at Smooth Jazz, which was owned by CBS Radio as well. So I worked at Young Country. I worked at Smooth Jazz. I did a little ditty over at WXYT, which is now The Ticket. I guest DJ'd over at OMC, did board hopping all over the city for CBS Radio. It was fun for me. Worked at Shadow Traffic, did Shadow Traffic reports. That was always good because I could be like 3-4 different people in one day, have 3-4 different names on 3-4 different radio stations. It was all cool. The radio business came and went. But while I was there, I really found my voice, so to speak. And I've done voiceovers throughout the years. Remember doing the $5 concert series down at Shane Park. That was when they really wanted the black DJs down there. Every now and then they put one of the white DJs down there, but wasn't nobody trying to check on the white DJs. They wanted to see black people down at Shane Park. Y'all call it the Aretha now. I still have a hard time calling it the Aretha because we was going to name it the Aretha. We should have named it the Aretha when she was still living. We shouldn't have waited till she died to name it the Aretha. So it's still Shane Park to me. So I was in it. I appreciate it, Kai Stone. Thank you very much. So what I was doing, I was living my life. I was living my dream. I was living my truth. And this is where I was still socially awkward, but society wasn't awkwardly social. Society was straightforward. Society was this is well before social media. This is the early stages of the internet, and what we were doing back here, we were just finding our way still in such an analog state. When we did have to deal with the internet and cyberspace, we were just such rookies at it, such novices. And I was finding my way doing the things that I did just naturally. The cooking for the restaurant came naturally. The radio stuff came naturally. I wasn't doing anything out of sorts. And then life would actually shift from there. During this period, my mother and my stepfather died 59 days apart. Literally. My mother died the 23rd of October, and we buried her the day before Halloween. And the day before the first Halloween that my daughters trick-or-treated for the very first time. So you got to understand, this was a tumultuous time in my life. My daughters are 2 years old. One was about to be 3. Complex story. Most of y'all know it, though. And they were going to be going trick-or-treating. And we were going to be meeting in the house where we always met, where people came to my house because I lived at the beginning of a court in the complex where I lived in the subsidized division called Colonial Square. And we would always start there. We would run around and we'd do our trick-or-treating. Well, this is the first year. This is the first year that my daughters were going to be trick-or-treating. So we all banded up at the house there. This is the day after we've laid my mother away. Now I've got to put on a good face for my daughters. And obviously I don't feel like going out, damn candy with my kids. I still don't remember the night itself, but there's a picture, which I didn't put in as a slide. I guess I should have done that. Rookie mistake. But I don't have any feeling for that night other than remembering, one of my daughters was a cow and the other one was Elmo. And it was a great night for them. They probably don't remember it, but it was the first time that they ever trick-or-treated. I was there, and there were many more nights after that we all went trick-or-treating. Thank you very much, Kai Stone. I appreciate you. Yes, it is indeed a tough thing to remember, Free. Mama D, what's going on with you? Did you watch the Lions today? The Lions are 4-1. They're 4-1, and we might just play the song on the way out again. I might not even play the bed that I've been playing for my intro and outro. We might just play that again. They might give me a copyright strike. I don't know why they're gonna give me a copyright strike. It ain't like that song was like some major hit. That song probably sold about 10,000 records max. I don't know, but we're gonna listen to it one way or the other and see if they give me a strike. Oh yeah, you remember them VIP privileges? Yeah. Shane Park used to do it up right. Foodie was running the thing. He was good doing his thing down there, and a lot of people don't realize that Shane Park, or the Aretha as y'all want to call it now, that is a part of Detroit's Parks and Recreation. So it's a part of, all the other stuff where you would see, swings and teeter-totters and stuff. It's a part of Detroit Parks and Recreation. Well, you had to be out of there like by a certain time. And it was always cool to bring performers in and let them know, like, hey, they need you on and off by this time, and bam, bam, bam. So we never had to worry about people coming in late. Performers were already amped to come in because they could get on and get off and get out of town before, midnight a lot of times, just because of the way the shows went off. But sometimes we'd have 3 acts, but most of the time we'd have 2 acts, have a great opening act and a great closing act. And they were generally both smooth jazz stars, and I remember my most memorable cats that I did introductions for was Alex Bunyan and Wayman Tisdale. Wayman Tisdale was so tall, he used to come up and just put his arm like on my head, because Wayman was like 6'10", and I'm like 5'10". So anybody's a foot taller than you, he used to just always talk stuff to me, and I introduced him at Shane. I used to introduce him at the Soul Cafe that was owned by Mel Farr's kids, and I did him at State Theater, I believe, too. So yeah, Wayman and I developed actually a really good rapport while he was touring, well before his sickness and whatnot. So that was always cool. But and then I got to do people like Roy Ayers and stuff like that. I mean, legends, just flat out legends, Roy Ayers and it was great to see the supporters who had supported the radio station. People would walk up and be like, "Oh, you Shannon Keith." I'm like, yeah, I heard you make a mistake about 1:37 last Saturday night, and you covered it up pretty good. You're pretty smooth. You covered it up. I'm like, somebody remembered a mistake that I made on the air and then came down right in front of the stage to tell me about it. I'd be ready to kick people sometimes, like, you gonna come down here and tell me about one of my flops? But it was all love. That's the way Detroit people are. Detroit people are very close to like the Apollo Theater type people. They will tell you about yourself. I used to have people call me up, but like, you misintroduced that song. That song was this. And then I would realize I had the wrong track on. But they knew what the song was and knew what the song should be. And they would call me up and just give it to me. Because I was sometimes tired and partying, do whatever, and didn't think. And I would just press the wrong track. I introduced the right song on the log, but just had the wrong track pressed, in the player. Yes, I did too. I do too. It was a great time, Mama D. It was a great time. But that was part of my life, like I said, that had to pass on. And then the next thing that I did, was I decided that at some point I wanted to get back into church because I wanted my daughters to have a very solid ground. And I felt like I was good. And I felt like most of the people on the other side, the women in my life, were pretty good. This is before I got married. But then when I went back to church, I got involved with some shenanigans. And it's why I'll never join another church. It's why I'll never be another church member. I'll never be another church member. Because I followed what I thought I was doing, which I was supposed to be following the word of God, but I truly was following a man of God. There's a difference, man of God, man of God. And he was gaudy. He was one of the gaudiest people ever. So I like to use this image of Reverend Ike because Reverend Ike resembles the person that I used to follow in church. His name was Don Shelby. And Don Shelby, as a matter of fact, in 4 days, it's going to mark 10 years that Don Shelby promised that he would call me to talk to me about my failing marriage. Absolutely. He said he was going to call me about my failing marriage and we were going to work it out. And I let him just play himself right into that lie because I had already signed a lease. I was leaving my house. I was leaving my wife. I was out. She had decimated my family. I hadn't been seeing my kids on a regular basis well over a year, and I was beat. I was done. I was out. But I let him tell that lie to tell me that he was going to be calling me, and we was going to work it out with Sister McFall and da-da-dee-da-da-da, and Sister Shelby was going to get, okay, it is now October 8th, 2023, 4:40 p.m. I'm sorry, 4:39 p.m., and he still ain't called. So I don't think he's going to call. I don't think Pastor going to call. I don't think he going to call. So I'm not going to hold out any more hope after this stream today. So moving on from there, what you said, Costone? Moving on from there, I got involved in the cannabis industry mid 15, 16, started cooking, worked my way into a grow room, which actually, this is what this used to be. This actually used to be a grow room, right? And I didn't grow to like be a mass producer. I grew to like have my own product to be able to cook with. And after a couple cycles, I figured out that the whole cultivation thing was not really for me. I really just wanted to focus on my food. And I learned the industry from the inside from people who were really, really in the industry. And I was pushed through the situation of getting into the stores by people who were very fruitful for me. And I also helped, and I can actually say that I was a major contributor to helping this thing get legalized. I had clipboards in both hands, Washtenaw County, Wayne County, Oakland County, Livingston County. And I had people signing petitions. We'd be downtown Ann Arbor, Ypsi, wherever. Detroit, we'd be everywhere trying to get people's signatures, the Cannabis Fest and things like that. trying to get this shit legalized. I somewhat regret that now. After going through my cycling of being in the industry and being in, over 40 different dispensaries during that time, I find myself saying, I don't like the cannabis industry no more, because now it's all about the dollar. They've basically taken the little guy out of the room. I mean, literally kicked the little guy out of the room. And unless you have major cash flowing, you're just nothing out here. And that's unfortunate, because people mortgaged their lives. I literally saw people mortgage their lives in the cannabis industry and lose. And that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to utilize my skills as a cook, as an entrepreneur, as someone who really knew business, and just make it all tie in together. And I was able to do some things. I was able to get a branded product. I was able to mass produce. I had a line of 7 to 10 regular products that I could put into people's stores. And then the bottom fell out. And it wasn't that I did anything wrong. It's just that they said, your products can be here until these stores get licensed. And once they get licensed, if you're not a part of a processor's licensee, you're done. And the only way that you could really do that was to give up all of your intellectual property to people who held licenses in the cannabis industry. So after hearing insult after insult and 80-20, 90-10 offers, I decided to stay independent, do what I did. And then it came to a point of where I partnered up with people that were definitely not on the up and up. The company that most people would probably hear me talking about over the last couple of years is a company called Cargo 420. Cargo 420 was a shit organization because it had shit people working for it, and it had shit people who ran the company. And there's actually a link. If you put in Cargo 420 Fox 2, you'll see why. One of the reasons I can say it was a shit company, it was a shit situation, and they end up fucking me out of much money. Let's just say that, much money. But I'm not really that upset about that part of it. What I'm more upset about is it was another one of the failed situations that I had got into, dealing with us, dealing with our people. I tried to work with Black people in Ann Arbor. Tisha fucked me over. Now they don't own their dispensary. I tried fucking with people all over this state. And then what would happen is I would always get the short end because I was a middleman. Being a culinary guy, I was a person that could actually help your business out by enhancing your product line. And what you would want to do is you would want to get the products that I would have that are going to sell the best, generally that you could get the most of, and you could put them on sale, and you could do this, you could do that. And I did everything that I could to try to help people. I also put other people on. I put other people on that did other things like vape carts and sold flour and did all kinds of stuff. It was a great time to see independent people making money, and nobody was hurting anybody. This wasn't no high level dope game. This was all legitimate shit because we were all caregivers. We all had medical marijuana cards. We were all doing what we were supposed to do out here the right way. And then the state said, you know what? All this shit's over. Too much money is out in the street. We need to change this up. So they changed it up. And people that were working together the right way stayed together. People that were working with other people the wrong way fucked people who were working with you the right way. And I was just one of those people. So life goes on. I've learned. This actually should have came before the Awesome Meds thing, but this kind of swung me back into politics, dealing with the Barack Obama years. Here you see Reb Mal watching Barack Obama eat a piece of chicken. This is pretty much all I have to say about this. Do I have to say anything about it? Reb Mal watching Barack Obama eat a piece of chicken with the paparazzi outside the windows taking pictures of Barack Obama eating a piece of chicken. Do I really need to say anything about that? I don't think so. So let's keep moving. And then it brought people like this out. And I saw Sean King speak. Shoot, he's up in Michigan. He's up in Michigan. And he's actually a great speaker, to be honest with you. Oops, jumped the shark there. He's actually a great speaker. And he had, I forgot what his thing was that day, but it was engaging. But then when I saw this picture one day, this side by side of him, of what he looked like when he was young, Jeffrey Sean King. Some people call him Martin Luther Cream, or Thurgood Partial. I just said, okay, maybe he wasn't who I thought he was all this time. And I wasn't upset with him because I've seen people change like this over my lifetime many a times. So I looked at Sean King and I said, okay, is he grifting? Is he putting on a put on, or is he really real with this thing? And I guess my thing is, I don't believe that he's really telling a lie or even living a lie. Talcum X. Yes, I've heard that one too. Talcum X. I love that one. Talcum X. But it came to show me that I am socially awkward. And it's because society is awkwardly social. You have to be this guy on the right, even though you were that guy on the left. And the thing with me is I've never tried to change my look so I could be a part of the situation. The most you'll see is me change my shirt or change my hoodie. But I don't believe in all the brands and all that stuff. If I'm branded, it's generally my brand. If I'm branded, you're going to see my brand. You're going to see straight game. Channeled energy is what I call it. Straight game. Okay? Don't need a G in the straight because I'm the G. Don't need an H in the straight because there ain't no hate. Just straight game. Channeled energy. Look it up. This just let me know what I was going to be embarking on for the next several years. And here's a guy that I saw back when I was a kid, Mr. White. And if anybody is of age, you know exactly who is under this makeup. I mean, if you look at it long enough, you can tell who is under this makeup, okay? See, I keep messing these slides up because I didn't realize touching the slide, there we go, would make it move. That's just a total rookie mistake on my side. I've never done it this way, and I shouldn't be doing it this way either. So Mr. White, okay, is Eddie Murphy. And he did this skit on Saturday Night Live years ago. I think he actually came back. Yes, it was, Kendall. Appreciate you being here still, bro. When he did this skit, and it was the original skit for white privilege. You didn't see anybody before this do skits talking about white privilege. And Eddie Murphy did this skit on white privilege, and it was ridiculous. And it still makes me laugh to this day. But I learned this skit, and I looked at this skit totally different 30 years later. I mean, I saw it in 1983, 84, whatever it was. And then you go to 94, then you go to 04, then you go to 2014, and we're almost 2024. This skit truly rings out the same way as it did then. White people do things for each other that they'll never do for black people. Period. And let me just say that again. White people do things for each other that they'll never do for black people. I'm not saying that white people won't do for black people, but they'll never do for black people what they do for themselves. You got to understand the dynamic in that. And you got to understand who I am when I speak that. And if you know who I am, you know who I deal with, you'll understand that the people that I deal with know this to be true as well, as it should be. I don't expect anybody like Mr. White to do for me the way I would expect Mr. Black to do for me. But in my old age now, I don't even expect Mr. Black to do for me. I don't expect Mr. White to do for me. I expect Mr. Shannon to go out and do for me. But it was a great time, understanding now that it was really the introduction of saying it out loud, white privilege. Absolutely. Now, this reparations thing, this will take me to the skit, because I want to go to the skit. This was actually when Bob Johnson, the former owner of BET, was talking about reparations, right? And when Bob Johnson started talking about reparations, he had a little thing that he put together, and he thought that he would say, you know, this was the stain of slavery, and this is how Black people should be paid back. Descendants, eligible descendants of enslaved individuals. He broke it down to a one-time cash payment of $350,767. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? $350,767. Think about that. A family of three, we have $1 million sitting in their household if that would be the case, right? Over 42 million African-American eligible descendants, calculation based on income, education, savings, home ownership. 14.7 trillion price tag. Now, his numbers were somewhat truthful, somewhat flawed. I appreciated them. I appreciated that he brought them out. I appreciated that he put it on the scope to where Fox News felt compelled to talk about it, because we're still talking about it because it has not happened. I don't believe we've obviously put our best foot forward in making it happen, but I think better days are ahead. But what I want to do is I've got to find the skit really quick. It's not a skit. Well, it is kind of a skit. And I'm sure that most people in here did not see Detroit. Hopefully Detroit is here. I need Detroit to be here. And if Detroit's not here, this will be a good time for me to say, okay, at 47:30, this is where I start talking about Detroit. And all due respect to my Detroit players, Pink Gators, I need y'all to understand, all y'all are not responsible for this, but all y'all gonna take this L on this. So let me find the skit, okay? Let me find the skit, man. Because I was actually going to talk about Derrick Jackson as well, and one of the biggest screw-ups that has happened during Jerry Clayton's tenure. But I don't know how long I really want to stay in here, depending on how good I'm feeling after the reparations scare. Because that's really what it was. It was a reparations scare. I mean, she did damage to the reparations movement. She indeed did damage to the reparations movement. So I can't believe that they allowed her to get in here and do what she did and say the things that she said. She was so off. And understanding, being this far off, I don't know who's going to end up seeing this skit. But hold on a second. Oh, yeah, I get it. Okay, I know why now. But anybody that is in government, if they look at this, they are definitely going to say we were on some clown shit here. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we've allowed ourselves to be co-opted, because this is a co-op. This is a co-op tactic. Knowing that she's from Detroit, please understand, she's in Atlanta this weekend at the reparations convention. Let me get the screen share up. Boy, oh boy. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it that she was this far off and this far. What's the term I want to use? She was this far off and this maniacal. I mean, she was maniacal. So yes, I'm queued up generally just right before she gets on. But this person here, I would have to say she did a lot of damage to the movement just by speaking, just by simply speaking. So I'm going to shut down and I'm going to let her cook. I'm probably going to have to come in and speak on some things that she says, because I'm not going to let her just run off and leave y'all by yourselves. This would be like leaving y'all with Freddy Krueger and Jason and Chucky as babysitters. I ain't going to do that to y'all. I'm going to come in and I'm going to save you before it gets too deep. So please understand, I ain't going nowhere. I'm just going somewhere. So let's rock.
What you need to be helping us with here is talking to Chairman Rob Pitts, who has publicly come out and said that he just doesn't fundamentally support reparations. I haven't talked to every county commissioner, but again, you do the math. If there's 7 and there's 4 that look like us, we shouldn't have a problem affecting 15 cities until you get involved.
You know, that's definitely a great point, you know, in terms of trying to get legislation passed. And one of the things that has helped us out, which is the grassroots push, you know, and Sister Anita Bell, you know, you've been, you know, part of the grassroots movement for quite some time in terms of trying to get reparations passed, both as in Cobra and the Reparations Labor Union. Can you provide any updates regarding, you can use the microphone?
Oh, I'm going to switch the slides.
Okay.
And that way I'll keep up with the slides. Because otherwise I'd have to turn all the way around to see it.
All right, no problem.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right. But a little bit about the grassroots. Yes, I came as the queen of the sky. Also known as the princess of Mars. But that is me being what I call cheering myself up, because reparations is depressing. Let's just be blunt. In order to talk about reparations, you have to talk about slavery, which is reliving that trauma, or genocide, which is reliving a trauma. It's like I can't go to bed traumatized. I won't sleep. So I made this up, Exodus to Mars, and made myself a superhero and gave myself some superpowers. But it's funny how truth and fiction actually start becoming, I use a saying in Exodus to Mars that Detroit will make you believe. Thank you, Detroit. We'll make you believe. Everybody who said there can't be reparations, they probably don't understand we have power that up until now, we actually were afraid to use. We were afraid to use. And I hate to say this today because I feel like a dangerous woman, but I have to.
She's dangerous to the movement because she's only been on for about 2 minutes and she's spoken nothing but flat out gibberish. And if we're going to be in these spaces, we're going to have to be sincere in these spaces. These spaces are detrimental to us. I'll hit you back when I'm done, D. I'm on live right now. We're going to have to be serious in these spaces. If we're not going to be serious in these spaces, we shouldn't take stages, because these things are going to be looked at over and over and over and over again. And when someone like this is talking about the sun, the moon, and the stars and quasars, What does that have to do with reparations? But I'm going to let Chandelier keep talking. That is what she has on her head, right? It's a chandelier. I think it's a chandelier. I'm going to let her keep talking. I'm just going to let her keep cooking. But yeah, she is dangerous.
To say only women can say this, because if I was a man, I'd be dead. So that's where we'll talk about grassroots reparations. But even though I'm coming as a comic book character, I have a law degree.
A comic book character.
All right, so I do a comic strip. It goes into animation. By Christmas and Kwanzaa, it'll be a game. So look out for that. Exodus to Mars already has NFTs, and it will have coming technology courses, because some of you don't even know what I said when I said NFT. So if you don't know what an NFT is, then you aren't going to know what AI is, and you won't understand why Detroit is on strike because of EVs. Yes, all of that, you have to start knowing what it is, because a robot can take your job. And reparations is important, and the unions, our potential allies, are looking at universal basic income, or should, because Ruby is the way of the future. And that's what we want to make our allies understand. But I also happen to know about Black genocide from a CIA case that had an attorney crazy enough to do it in 7 states that had that CIA case alleged Black genocide. And because of that, it became qualified to go to the United Nations. So it is there now during this decade, international decade of people of African descent, where we have been forgotten for 9 out of the 10 years. Everybody else is so important. So again, we're going to get out of this decade without our reparations. We have to get to a point. I know, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. We have to get to a point where we say, hell no. We got to get to that point. We have to get to the point where we're not just asking nicely, because we make these moral appeals. Maybe we need to be a little bit more direct. And I'm not saying violent, because of course you could get killed for that, but you have to also not be so scared. So, and you can still be creative at the same time. So part of the reason I bring up a comic book is that Exodus to Mars, the Black Martians, are our allies. So we have a military.
So in case y'all didn't know, we have an ally in Black Martians, and the Black Martians are our military. So when we're ready to go to battle out here for reparations, know that we already have an army in tow, and they are indeed the Black Martians. The Black Martians. I didn't say it, she said it. What I want you to do, it was absolute pure mess, free. And what I want you to do not look at her. Let's start breaking this down, because like I said, I don't know how long I'm going to let it cook. But do not look at her. Look at the people on the panel, and look at the looks that she's getting from the people on the panel, or look at some of the people start to turn away and start to talk amongst themselves on the panel. Yeah, that's the way this was. So just look at the panel. Don't look at her.
Without having a military. All right. Polygamy is something that we should also ask for, and I'm on the Detroit Reparations Task Force. But
you hear that? You hear that? I didn't even get to start it right. You heard that? She said polygamy. She said polygamy. God damn it! I need to come up. What in the hell does polygamy have to do with reparations? I mean, I'm gonna have to turn it on. I turn on Bluetooth speaker. I gotta get the Bluetooth speaker on, because I gotta get Dick in this. Yeah, I gotta get Dick in this. I gotta get Dick invested in this project. Yes. What does polygamy have to do with this? Huh? She said polygamy. Hot garbage coming up. She said polygamy. Who in their right mind is serious about reparations when they get up on a reparations panel and talks about polygamy? Really? Okay. That's what she said. That's what she said. I'm going to go back just a little bit. It's at 4309, 42. There we go.
Be at the table when
What? No.
Holocaust killed 6 million Jews.
Oh man, I messed up.
He's so scared.
Here we go.
So, and you can still be creative at the same time. So part of the reason I bring up a comic book is that Exodus to Mars, the Black Martians are our allies. So we have a military without having a military. All right. Polygamy is something that we should also ask for, and I'm on the Detroit Reparations Task Force. But let me put the
Detroit
now.
Detroit.
The views and opinions you're about to hear belong to Anita Bell and the Reparations Labor Union, a bunch of Black Jews in Detroit, but it does not belong to the Detroit Reparations Task Force.
She said a bunch of Black Jews. A bunch of Black Jews. What do Black Jews have to do with descendants of enslaved individuals? A bunch of Black Jews?
I know, Shabbat Shalom, y'all. We have to get to a point where we say, hell no. We got to get to that point. We have to get to the point where we're not just asking nicely because we make these moral appeals. Maybe we need to be a little bit more direct. And I'm not saying violent, because of course you could get killed for that, but you have to also not be so scared. So, and you can still be creative at the same time. So part of the reason I bring up a comic book is that Exodus to Mars, the Black Martians are our allies. So we have a military without having a military. All right. Polygamy is something that we should also ask for, and I'm on the Detroit Reparations Task Force, but let me put the disclaimer out now. The views and opinions you're about to hear belong to Anita Bell and the Reparations Labor Union, a bunch of Black Jews in Detroit, but it does not belong to the Detroit Reparations Task Force because we have some of the same challenges as you're just describing happening in the Atlanta, Fulton County area. So, from a Black Jewish perspective, we ask what we want to follow the Jews' pattern in receiving reparations. So you have to be a little Jewish here and deploy your weapon. Melanin.
Y'all heard that. You got to apply your Jewish weapon. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I'm gonna leave y'all. Detroit, stand up. This your girl. This your girl, Detroit. This your girl. Now we Jews. We Jews. Damn being a freedman. We're Jews. We'll probably be Holocaust survivors by the time this is over.
Melanin is our strength and melanin is our weapon. So we have to either have a melanin strike or a melanin bank. All right. White Jewish reparations were paid after World War II ended in 1945. It was based upon a treaty. That treaty is the anti-genocide treaty that we know today that the United States finally signed on to.
Them two brothers at the end of the table are not even paying attention to her.
In 1988.
And the couple sitting next to each other,
1988.
They're just like, what's going on?
It took them that long because they were trying to figure out a way to not be charged for genocide because they committed genocide too, not just against Blacks. Mind you, they dropped that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So the Holocaust killed 6 million Jews, and it was an act of genocide.
What's this got to do with reparations?
That story? Einstein was rescued out of Nazi Germany, and he became the discoverer of the theory of relativity, which turned into the nuclear bomb or atomic bomb that Oppenheimer, another Jew, Yes, but you have to understand, sometimes the only way to stop a genocide is to start one. And that's what Oppenheimer did.
She said, what?
He was not in Germany. His parents were immigrants from Germany. But he saw what was going on to the Jews in all of that part of Europe, and said, how do we stop that genocide? And necessity is the mother of invention. He created a bomb, and he did admit, now I am the destroyer of worlds.
This is Detroit.
But
this y'all reparations.
that weapon, and he
representative in Atlanta,
he dropped on Germany.
Where you at? Where you at, A-Dub? A-Dub, where you at, man?
But
A-Dub.
The Japan was the ally or the Axis.
Did you speak yesterday, A-Dub?
With Germany, so Germany got the message.
A-Dub, where you at, dog?
Jews are still getting reparations from Germany to this day.
Ain't no black people in Washington County.
And we're talking about nearly 80 years later.
Ain't no black people in Atlanta either.
80 years, and Elon Musk wants to.
They Jewish.
History. So he wants.
Where's Sammy Davis Jr. at?
Because he claims he's afraid that there's going to be a nuclear war on Earth. But he advocates nuclear terraforming of Mars in order to make the atmosphere more compatible.
Oh, yeah, she was cooking.
Now he wants to release a weapon on another planet. In order to do that, it better be unoccupied. Otherwise, isn't that an act of war? But I'm just saying make believe when I write up Exodus to Mars and saying Black Martians.
People looking at the screen.
But maybe
the brother in the middle of the screen is looking at her like,
and that's
what
why
are you talking about?
Started a space force. Biden didn't disband it. Matter of fact, he just shot down some UFOs in February in Michigan.
And the sister in the white, her arms have been folded since.
Are just some crazy people
forever.
With aluminum hats on. Why do you have it now as a part of the armed forces? Wake up, people. They've known Martians were black over 100 years ago when Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote a comic book called The Princess of Mars. And that's why I chose this. With a Princess of Mars is answering you. Now you have.
I don't think I want to go any further. I really don't. I don't want to go any further because, for one, Detroit, like I said, y'all gonna take this L. Y'all sent this heifer down there. Y'all gonna take this L. You're gonna take this L all the way. Okay? To the face. What's my man Foolish say? To the face. This is some of the most unserious behavior. Black Martians at the reparations convention in Atlanta. Now, I heard about Yvette Carnell being uninvited, disinvited. I don't know the exact term. I'm kind of dumb. Okay. So it could be uninvited, disinvited, whatever it is. I'm kind of dumb. Y'all trying to tell me that y'all let her come in, but didn't let Yvette Carnell come in? I don't care what kind of differences you got with Yvette Carnell. I'll listen to Yvette Carnell 24/7. Put Yvette Radio on Pandora, and I'll listen to Yvette Carnell 24/7 before I listen to another Black Martian. Tell me, Kendall, you've been here the whole time, bruh. And I don't know how much you up on this whole political thing. You know where I've been with this thing. I don't know if you and I have ever broke bread on it or not. But you tell me, did that make sense to you? Whether you know anything about the reparations movement or not, did any of that make sense to you, bro? I just want to know, because I'm just clowning it. I'm just clowning it. And I'm about to find the link. I'm not really. Okay, no problem. You ain't gotta be. No big deal. I'm not gonna hold you to it. But let me find something. Let me hold you tight. Let me find the Detroit reparations thing. Yeah. Let me find that. Let me find that. The Detroit reparations thing, because we're going to bring that up. Yeah. Brother A Dub put this in a Twitter space. Oh, yeah. He put this in a Twitter space a couple days ago. And I'm going to bring it up. Yeah. Brother A Dub. And it didn't. That means it didn't make sense, y'all. Kendall is quiet. He is nowhere near as gregarious as I am, and he's not going to speak on something that he's not. It's not that he's being safe. It's not that he's being scared. He just don't talk as much as I do. I appreciate Brother Kendall being here. I don't normally have Kendall in the chat, in the room with us, and I'm proud that he's actually here. He's one of my brothers from the Deuce, one of the few brothers who actually listen to my streams. I don't know how he got here today. Maybe he didn't have shit else to do, but I appreciate you, brother, being here for most of this stream. I think you've been here since the beginning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip screens real quick, like share this tab instead. I sure am. Let's get on over here. And this is where we are. Yeah. This is what A Dub put up in the Twitter space a couple days ago. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Cash Gaines' space. I'm dropping names. Cash Gaines' space. And he put this up, okay? And when he put this up, he should have known at some point somebody was going to forward this nonsensical error that he made to me after trying to run me down in a Twitter space when I was just minding my own business, listening to them build where I thought they was building, but they wasn't really building. They was tearing down, just like the Black Martian today, or she was yesterday. I don't know if they let her back on the mic today. I'd have told her there wasn't no time today. We all booked up. No more Black Martians at the reparations convention this weekend. You go on and find Gazoo and go on and fly back to Michigan. Black Martians. Heffa, you just made one of the most serious situations in our lifetime a joke. A flat out joke. So this was the City of Detroit City Council Legislative Policy Division. Detroit City Council from David Whitaker, Director, Legislative Policy Division, applying to be appointed to the Reparations Task Force. July 7th, 2022. I've already read all this, okay? I've already done this in another space, but because I want to make sure that Detroit holds this L properly, I'm going to read it all again. Council President Sheffield directed LPD to provide a document outlining a formal process for the general public to apply to serve on the Reparations Task Force, including a timeline, qualifications that will be considered, and where people submit resumes for consideration. This report will provide a summary of the process addressing the above issues. An online link, that should have been online one word, but they put on and line. That's a typo, grammatical error. Get that right, A-Dub, as you take AL. Link for applicants to fill out to be considered is provided. Overview. A resolution passed by Council on July 5th, 2022 described the process Council will follow to appoint the Reparations Task Force as follows. According to the results of the Reparations Task Force survey, the qualifications of individuals to serve on the task force should be considered. Eligibility, Detroit residents. See, they asked me why I was messing around in Washington talking about reparations when ain't no Black people in Washington. And to my count, it's about 44,000 plus in Washington County. So we got enough people. And I'm talking about real Black folks. I'm talking about Black Americans, American Blacks, Negroes, American freedmen, descendants of slaves in Washington County. But they said wasn't no Black people in Washington County, but there are Black people in Washington County, and I'm not a Detroit resident. That's why I wasn't messing with Detroit. Then they said, why ain't you over here? I said, well, Detroit's got residential requirements. You got to be a resident of 6 to 10 years in Detroit. But Then I looked at that third thing. Membership is open to non-African Americans. What? How can you be a non-African American talking up reparations? That's odd, because they tried to come at me for platforming somebody on my podcast named Gabriel Piemonte, a Chicago alderman candidate who is not Black. And all I did was interview Gabe. I didn't try to make him a part of a reparations task force. Y'all letting non-African Americans be a part of the reparations task force in Detroit? Motown, Detroit City, the motor, the D. What's that D stand for? A-dub, don't have to be Black? Yeah. You didn't think I was going to come back, did you, A-dub? Because I know you done seen the other video too. You ain't said nothing on that. I'm waiting, bruh. See, I mind my own business. I move about my own way. But since y'all chose to come at me, what they say? You take a shot at the king, you bet not miss. You missed, bruh. You missed, the Black Martian missed, and this task force missed. Understands me. I don't bother nobody until somebody bothers me. Please understands me. So y'all gonna put non-African Americans on the task force as long as they're Detroit residents for the last 6 to 10 years. Y'all about to have all them white folks that work down in Quicken Loans be a part of y'all task force? Is that what y'all saying? They work for Illich Holdings. All the hipsters that's done moved into town, staying up in them high-priced lofts, they can be a part of your task force. Ain't got shit to do with Detroit. Ain't got shit to do with being a descendant. That's what y'all gonna do? A-dub? Nah, you take this L, A-dub. Y'all gonna stop playing with me. Now, we're not gonna have a long relationship like they used to have with Major and all them cats over on Twitter Spaces. This fight is over. You understands me? It's over. The fight has been done with since I started talking about this situation. Now we got this situation. Yeah, we done, dog. We done. We don't have to talk about this no more. Y'all tried to come at me for what? Because I was minding my own business in my own county, in my own hometown? Ain't no Black people over in Washtenaw County. How you a freedman? How you know your people was freedmen? I told you, Granville Rowley, 1870. Born to enslaved individuals. Yeah, because I know it was supposed to have stopped at 1865, but we know it was still popping down there, down south. Everybody wasn't free. So he was a free man. His parents should have been free too. Where your people from, A-dub? Better yet, where are the other people on the task force people from? Europe? Ireland? Asia? Russia? Where they from? Because you can be anything and be on the task force in Detroit. All you got to do is be a resident of the city for 6 to 10 years. I didn't say it. You did. Clown. So you leave me alone anytime you see me, whether I'll be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, where I'll put all this in the Jumbotron, put on my apron and get to cooking your ass again, bruh. I don't mess with nobody unless they mess with me. Yes, I am absolutely a contrarian, but that's because I just don't believe in always rolling with the popular opinion. And your popular opinion that night was talking about who I was and who I platformed and who I rolled with and this, that, and the other, and how was I a free? What that have to do with the price of tea in China? Or better yet, in Detroit or in Atlanta? Yeah. What that had to do with anything? Y'all got black Martians in Atlanta. Oh, I see what y'all did. I see what you did, dog. Y'all sent her down to Atlanta. Y'all sent the black Martian down to Atlanta. So she's in the land of the AT aliens. Did y'all make sure she hooked up with Big Boy and Andre 3000? Is she going to be on their next record? The Black Martians and the AT aliens? Is that what y'all did? You're going to learn to stop messing with grown folks, little boy. What I tell you at the last stream? Give me that title, boy. You don't deserve this. Give it to me. And you go on and get. You go on and get. Y'all want to play around with this. And you don't want to do local politics right. So how are we going to even do anything on the national stage? Y'all sending black Martians to Atlanta. Y'all got clowns up here talking about non-African Americans can be on the task force in Detroit. I could see this if this was a predominantly white city, but we talking about 77 black, 77% black folks in Detroit, but you allowing non-African Americans, and that's y'all word. I don't use that word. That's y'all word. Is that A and A-dub stand for African? You want Dick to say it? Huh? I'm done playing games with y'all. Done. So you go on and get, boy. Leave me alone. We done. We done playing with you. That's it. It's over. So yeah, something I found, man, you know, when I was at the election booth a couple years back, and I'm going to bring these slides up when I kick it again, because I am going to talk about Derek Jackson and one of the craziest thing that he's done in his tenure of being a community engagement officer, well before he launched his campaign to try to become sheriff in 2024. I'm going to talk about some of the things that he's done as the community engagement officer and the embarrassment that he has put on this county. But where I was back then and where I am right now, I just want to show that. I want to show that. But where I was back then, let me go on and get here. Y'all remember when I used to put this up on my stream, who I voted for sheriff back then? Yeah, Jerry was the only person on the ballot because he had beat Ken McGee in the primary. I voted for Ellie Savage for prosecutor. Ellie won his primary, so he ran unopposed because there wasn't going to be no Republican that ran against him. So I voted, obviously, for him, still shaded the box in, even though he ran unopposed. And I wrote Ken McGee's name in there because no matter what, I wasn't going to vote for Jerry. I wasn't going to vote for Jerry if there wasn't another box. I would have put a line through his name and still put Ken McGee's name in there because he was still the most qualified candidate. And of course, Jerry won another term, and we're here now. And Derek Jackson, his underling, his minion, his junior, his cohort, or cohort, is now running for sheriff. And we're going to talk about that. I don't know if I'll get back up in here today, but I know we're going to talk about it. I know this. I do know this. And remember when the presidential election came around, right? I didn't vote for Joe Biden. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. Look who I voted for. Yeah. Look who I voted for. Back then, we weren't calling ourselves freedmen. We were calling ourselves ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. That's my ballot. That's the table inside the ballot booth. Yeah, that's what I did. What'd you do? Who'd you vote for? See, y'all can talk the talk, but are you really walking the walk? And I had donated to the campaign of the Democrats. But once we got up to election day, and actually I went in a couple of days before election day, we had early voting. You know, we was dealing with COVID and whatnot. And no, I didn't vote for Joe Biden, although I donated to their campaign because remember, I was already up on Lift Every Voice. Remember Lift Every Voice? Remember Joe Biden's campaign promise? Lift Every Voice. He's still doing that. Was Ukraine a part of Lift Every Voice? Were the migrants part of Lift Every Voice? Just axing. Just axing. Look at Martin. Look at Martin. Retta? You see this mess? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Retta sees it. She knows it's plumb mess. Plumb mess. Yeah. Now, here's something that I wanted to bring up because we've been saying this for years, not years, decades. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. But remember when they put these shirts in the stove? Remember when they put these shirts in the stove and they turned the proud to a rainbow flag? Now, there's a whole lot of things wrong with this shirt. The collar too wide. The color of the shirt is horrible. And the fact that they took a moniker that was made famous by the Godfather of Soul, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, and made it about pride, that's a problem. Now, I ain't got nothing against gay folks, and y'all know this. Y'all know this more than you know a lot about me. But like I said, the collar too wide, the shirt color is horrible. And the fact that they chose to take a moniker that was made for black unity and made it about gay unity, something fishy. Something fishy. Y'all know who this is? Frida, do you know who this is? Do you? I want to know if somebody knows who this is. What show did he play on back in the 70s? I'm going to give y'all a hint. What show did this guy play on back in the 70s? I want to know who knows who this is. I want to know. Who is it? Don't nobody know? It ain't about four of you in here. Somebody got to know who this is. What show did he play on back in the 70s? Y'all don't know who this is? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me see if I thought I had a side by side. Yeah, I know it looks familiar. Hold on a second. Let me see if I got a side by side. I thought that I had one. Give me one quick second. Oh no, hold on a second. There we go. You said that face looks familiar. Frida said that face looks familiar. Do I have a brave soul in the place? No? Well, here it is. I'm going to kill the surprise. Yeah. A lot of y'all call him Fat Joe. I call him Gordo Jose. That's who that is. That's Lil Joey Cartagena. Back when he was a part of the beginning of hip hop. Yeah, he looks like he was a part of the culture, don't he? That's Lil Joey Cartagena. Appreciate you, bruh. Appreciate you, man. Subscribe to the link, bro. Subscribe to the link. The Villager on Deck. Let people know I'm still the same Shannon back in the day. I'm just not back in the day. Because I am socially awkward because society is awkwardly social. Yeah, Free. That's Lil Jose Cartagena. Yeah. So he always talking about he was a part of the culture and he was black. He was black. Yeah. This ain't the same dude. Sorry. And forget all the chains and the leather shorts and the knot knees and the cellulite. Appreciate it, bruh. Just know, Jose Cartagena was about as part of the initial hip hop movement as I was. And I already told you when I first learned about hip hop. No way in hell they thought they were black. No, the Cartagenas didn't think they was black. But if Tariq Nasheed has his say-so about it, he'll get rid of the whole memory of Joey Cartagena, but he's in a flawed space too, because he's trying to make money off the culture. And his documentary ain't coming out till 24. Well, at that point, Tariq, it won't be 50 years. It'll be 51 years if y'all gonna keep counting that way. I think hip-hop started well before 50 years ago, but it is what it is. I'm not concerned with that. Joey, little Joey. Is that little Joey from up the block? Yeah, it's little Joey. And that's Kamala looking at little Joey. Look at little Joey. Look at little Joey up there. Joey. I'm going to tell y'all, they going to stop messing with me. They going to stop messing with me. Yeah, he going to hell and Mamala going with him. It's all good, man. It's all good. Because y'all do this stuff to yourselves. Y'all make me come for you. I be minding my business, trying to get something done, trying to put 4 quarters together to make $1. But now, here y'all come with your mess. With your mess. Kamala looked proud. She looked proud of Joe. She looking at Joe like, she proud of Joe. Joey, look at Joey. Look at little Joey up there. Yeah. She happy about little Joey. Little Joey up there in the concert. He up there in the little concert. That's what she looked like. She's at the school concert. Little 4th grade choir concert. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Instead of 3 blind mice, they were just playing Trace Bronx Rats. That's what they were singing. It wasn't 3 blind mice. It was Trace Bronx Rats. El Ratos. That's what was going on there. But his mama was out in the crowd, and she was just as proud as she could be. So I'm going to wind this down because, like I said, I'm not going to go into that whole scenario with Derrick Jackson on this. Not that I don't feel like it. I just feel like I put a lot of that energy towards the Black Martians of Detroit. That could be a good movie. The Black Martians of Detroit. They swoop down on the city. They land on top of the Renaissance Center. They jump across the street to the Coleman A. Young building, seeking out reparations, led by Anita Bell and A-Dub. Yeah. Y'all serious about reparations in Detroit, I see. Shout out to Mary Sheffield. I think she's doing everything that she can. She probably don't even know these clowns is out here acting up like this. I'm not going to put Mary Sheffield in the middle of this. I think Mary Sheffield actually has Detroit really in her heart. She's a Detroiter. She's a true Detroiter. I think she's really got I think she's got Detroit right here in her heart. But when you got A-Dub and A-Clown and A-Martian, come on, man. Let's be serious out here. Let's be serious out here. You better get like Jermaine Jackson. Let's get serious. Let's get serious. Yeah. Mama proud, man. She proud. Man, get off my screen. So I'm going to shut this down because what I want to do here in this space is I want to make a difference. I am indeed socially awkward. I get it. I am indeed socially awkward. I'm going to own it. I'm going to own it because I know that if I say I'm anything else, yes, Free, seriously, a joke. The task force is clown shit. Yeah. You can type it. I can say it. And it's unfortunate because I think Mary Sheffield, if she had some people really with some real direction, not non-African Americans, not Black Martians, not A-Dubs willing to take a L, because anytime you come with me, you taking a L. She just needs to know who's really all about this thing. And it ain't Black Martians. And it ain't A-Dub. And I don't think you need to become a polygamist to be a reparationist. But let that Black Martian tell you, she trying to have Black Martian orgies all over the Motown. Polygamist. I think polygamy should be added to the thing. She want a couple dang-a-langs in that thing. Why you need to be a polygamist, Anita Bell? What you trying to do? You trying to have a California king full of chocolate? Mm-hmm. Right there, I'd have cut her mic. Polygamy. Whoa, we're here to talk about reparations. Stay on course if that's what you got. But we don't want to talk about no polygamy. I don't even know how that got into the discussion. I thought she was just on the wrong PowerPoint. But she rode with that. It was a part of her reparations talk. This is why I don't mess with y'all. Not because I'm not a resident of Detroit. Not because I haven't lived there for 6 to 10 years. Not because I'm not a non-African American. I don't fuck with y'all. Because y'all dumb, stupid, and now you have proven you are indeed slow. You are indeed slow. Yeah. You got dick out here just talking.
Get the fuck out of my business, nigga. Hey, man, that's what you need to do. Cause I'm getting tired. You keep telling what the fuck I'm doing every time I'm doing something. Cause I'm not finna fake for these peckerwood.
And that's what y'all doing. Y'all faking.
Huh?
Yeah. And if you keep coming for me,
your ass is next.
Yeah. You understand me? Come on up again, A-Dub.
Your ass is next.
You can get a double scoop of this Washtenaw dairy. You understand me? She went left quickly. I don't even think she was on 5 minutes. Moon, stars, quasars, polygamy, Jewish reparations. We black Jews up in here. I was looking for Sammy Davis Jr. to come out on stage. A shaboing, a boing, boing, a shaboing, a boing, boing. Y'all officially done in Detroit talking about reparations until further notice. I'm going to get with my man Ern. I just actually broke bread with this dude through text thread. Get with my man Ern. We'll see what we can do, man. We'll see if we can put something together on the outside. Come talk to Mary Sheffield. Y'all stand down. We probably have a private meeting with Mary. We don't need y'all clowns in the room. Because there's only a couple people in this state actually really talking about this thing the right way. And I'm going to get with Brother Ern on some shit. And we can really spit. All right? We don't really need no more clowns. But like I said, I'm getting serious out here with this thing. And I finally got things right in my space. So let me go on and show y'all what's up next. Let me go on and show you what's up next for the Villager on Deck. Because I'm about to drop a bomb on y'all. Yeah. We here now. Please understand me. We here. Pebbles to pillars. It's an ideology. It's a lifestyle. Before you can become a pillar, you must be first a pebble. And you can manifest into being a pillar. Or you can remain a pebble. But if you're going to try to move out here, you can move much more fruitfully as a pillar than you can as a pebble. So please understand, and I dedicated today's colors to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have put us in a space where we actually think they gonna win. They gonna win. Because I truly believe they might be on the path to the playoffs. But I remember when we were on the path to the playoffs before, I told y'all at the beginning of this thing, yeah, we was on the move. We was winning. But then they got to skinning and grinning. Thanks, Free. It was a lot of work to get this person who put this together to do what I needed him to do. But hold tight, because we'll have Pebbles to Pillars swag coming. I'll be taking pre-orders on hats and shirts and hoodies and sweats and all types of stuff. And you'll see me going from straight game to that letter P on the front. The pebbles to pillars will be on the back, arched up over the snapback. I just got to go find my clothier now. We've got the name. Y'all about to learn the game. And then we'll get with it. But I appreciate y'all being in the space today. And like I said, I'm saluting my Lions because they 4-1. They 4-1. And I know that I personally became familiar with this song with Freddie Mercury. Mercury, not Mercury. Mercury and Queen. The remix of this song is so much more fly. I just hope that the after effects don't roll over to 2023, 2024. Yes, I don't need the results to roll over, but I need that same vibe. I need that same fervor. I think the Lions should come out to this song once we clinch the playoffs. I really do. Just to pay homage to the legends and the lyricist, the fellas that was spitting bars. I'm talking bars, like bars of 1980. It really wasn't a whole lot of people out there spitting bars in 1980, but they did what they could. So to the Lions, to the villagers on deck, some people came through for the first time today, like Brother Kendall. I appreciate that, brother. I think he clicked the love on the way out. When he said he was leaving, I saw the love button go up. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all being in this space with me today and understanding why I am socially awkward. Because society is awkwardly social. I'm not blaming society for being awkwardly social. It's just taking us from saying hi to typing hi. It's just taking us from laughing out loud to LOL, LMAO, LMMAFO. I laughing my motherfucking ass off. Come on, man. I'd rather just say I'm laughing my motherfucking ass off. Now, I don't even want to say that. I just rather just laugh my motherfucking ass off. That's all. But be on the lookout for the mock-ups for the Pebbles to Pillars swag. And I'm anticipating we're going to cover up a few folks before winter, before the new year. And oh yeah, since y'all still on that Black History Month thing, we're going to come out with a Pebbles to Pillars Black History Month whole mock-up. Hat. It's cold here, hoodie. And from people in the left and in the South, we'll get y'all some teas. But it'll be what it is. And as for the Detroit Reparations Task Force, another one bites the dust. One love.
This is Spider-Man Allen, and I have a message for everyone in the NFL. Spider-Man sitting on the seat with his helmet way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of cleat. The line began to roar. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Come and watch the Detroit line that no one seems to beat. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one's gone. And another one's gone. And another one bites the dust. Hey, I want to get you too. Another one bites the dust. Offense, defense, special team. If you're thinking with the line, you know what I mean. Last year's team was 2-14, but this is the year for New Orleans. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat? Come and watch that Detroit line that no one seems to beat.
Bars.
And another one bites the dust. And another one bites the dust. And another one's gone. And another one's gone. And another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. I'm the Spider-Man and I can do whatever a spider can. I can spin a web any size. I even catch footballs just like that. We got an offensive line who's very tough. Got a defensive line called the Silver Rush. Got Dexter Buddy, Harsh King, see Billy run. They couldn't catch him with the gun. Tick-tock, that's money clock. There's Gary Danielson, drop back, pass, touchdown. Wide receivers, Freddie Doc Scott. Hey, look, this bird is a play. No, it's incredible Al Baker, that is. Hound dog, that dog will run. David Hill House on the street. Earl Flynn in the end zone. Another one touchdown.
David Hill used to be the Earl Flynn.
Super Bowl. World champ. Another one bites Detroit. Another one bites Listen to the line of George. Listen to the another one bites
Let's keep it going, fellas. Let's not repeat back in the day.